Hi, my name is Imani Williams, and my persuasive speech is on the topic of abortion. And my stance on this topic is pro life, which means that abortion shouldn't be completely illegal. Now, there is not a single civilized society on earth that permits one human to intentionally harm or take the life of another human being without punishment. And abortion should be absolutely no different, because that's exactly what it is. Now, abortion is unlike any other issue that's debated today, and millions of American women have aborted a child, and the pain, loss, and emotional need to justify what was done, both on the part of the mother and on the part of the loved ones, is a very strong and deep feeling. This means that in any debate, you may face an invisible thumb on a scale almost that even the best logic is not going to be able to persuade. One of the reasons why it should be illegal is because of the Hippocratic Oath. Now, the Hippocratic Oath is one of the oldest binding documents in history, period. It's an oath that was taken by all physicians before practicing medicine, stating the obligations and proper conduct of doctors. One of the lines from the oath says, "I will give no deadly medicine to anyone if asked, nor suggest any such counsel in like manner. I will not give to a woman a pessary to procure an abortion." This line refers to euthanasia and abortion. Just this document alone makes it completely illegal for doctors to give an abortion. Another point is the question that is this even a human being at that point where abortion is an option? And at the moment when a human sperm penetrates a human ovum or an egg, a new entity comes into existence. And zygote is the name of the first cell formed at conception. So the earliest developmental stage of the human embryo, followed by the morula and blastocyte stages. So at that moment of conception, it is a being. It's a living being. And it's going to be a human being, which makes it illegal to kill it. This zygote is composed of human DNA and other human molecules, so its nature is undeniably human. That is an irrefutable fact. A new human zygote has a genetic composition that is absolutely unique from itself, just like any other human that has ever existed, including that of its host or the mother. Now, just this small piece of information disproves the claim that an abortion is merely a woman in her body. It's a woman and a completely different human entity. And at the moment of conception, it is a human being with its own future, its own unique DNA, its own set of basic human rights that's entitled to every man, woman, and child on this earth. It also was proven that the earliest human embryo is biologically alive. It fulfills the 4 criteria needed to establish biological life. That's metabolism, growth, reaction to stimuli, and reproduction. 61% of Americans say that abortion should be illegal after the fetal heartbeat has begun, which occurs in the first month of pregnancy. Now, the current law is that you can get an abortion during the first trimester, which is 3 months. 72% of Americans say that abortion should be illegal after the first 3 months of pregnancy, which it is. 86% of Americans say abortion should be illegal after the first 6 months of pregnancy. And only 6 to 17% of Americans, depending on how the question is asked, believe abortion should be legal at any time in any circumstances. And 92% of abortions in America are purely elective, done on healthy women to end the lives of healthy children. Now, it's one thing that if the embryo can harm the mother's health and it's her life or the baby, is understandable. But 92% of the abortions in this country are purely elective. The people just do not want to have these babies. And that's completely ridiculous and unacceptable. There are way too many types of contraceptive if you don't want to have a child. There's abstinence. I mean, there's so many different ways to not have a child if you don't want one, other than abortion and killing. And another point is women's rights. This is a big one. And now many people argue that pro-choice with a woman's rights. And yes, I do agree that women should have all rights to their bodies. But what people fail to recognize or realize is that it is no longer just her body that's involved. after conception, that there's another human life forming with the same rights that she has growing inside of her. So the same rights that you possess as a human are the same rights that this embryo has from the earliest stages of conception all the way throughout their life. And in the instance of rape and incest, proper medical care can ensure that a woman will not get pregnant. Abortion punishes the unborn child who committed no crime. Instead, and it's the perpetrator who should be punished. Abortion should not be used as another form of contraceptive, and people are they get the two very much confused. Abortion is not contraceptive. There are many, many different forms of contraceptive. Abortion should not even be considered to be one, because it's not. It's just straight up murder. A lot of women believe that an abortion will make a child disappear and never come into existence. And many women that have had abortions have been proven very, very wrong. There's a website called www.afterabortion.com that was established by a woman who had 5 abortions. And it provides a place for women to help each other cope with the aftermath of their abortions. And there's nearly 2.5 million posts. And they tell their stories of how they were coerced into abortion by their families, their spouses, boyfriends, husbands, friends, family, all of that. They describe how abortion was far from being a choice, as many people assume it is. And they speak of overwhelming guilt and nightmares and excessive drinking and drug abuse and promiscuity and an inability to form and maintain relationships. And it's difficult to bond with children that you have after an abortion, and other ways in which they're suffering. So if you think that this abortion will make this child go away like that and it's over and you'll never have to deal with it again, you are very sorely, sorely wrong, because it's not how it works. So if you think an abortion is just and it's over, it's not. The act will never leave you, just like killing the person will never leave you. Susan B. Anthony had a newspaper called The Revolution in 1869, and in it she said, no matter what the motive, love or ease or desire to save from suffering suffering the unborn innocent, the woman is awfully guilty who commits the dead. It will burden her conscience in life, it will burden her soul in death. But oh, thrice guilty is he who drove her to the desperation which impelled her to the crime. And this quote really embodies that no matter the reason, abortion is a massive crime that a woman would live and die with. And you cannot escape it. And that is even worse for the people that sometimes drive her to this act. So for a lot of women that are, they become pregnant and their friends or family or spouses or boyfriends or girlfriends or force them to get an abortion. And it happens a lot with, young girls, teenage girls who get pregnant and their parents force them to get an abortion. It's just the same. That guilt is just the same for them as it is for the mother. And in conclusion, the more abortion is understood from every viewpoint, the more you see the cons outweigh the pros. The more you will be able to see that it is anti-life and just plain wrong. And there are too many women and families that are suffering from abortions and its awful after effects. And we need to put an end to an abortion everywhere.